Hello and welcome to another episode of Tech Enthusiast. I'm your host Neil.
And I'm your host Simon. We'll start this week with an update of where we are in the OnePlus 2 queue.
Well, if only we knew.
That's the problem. I have no idea where I am in the queue and whether I'm fickle or not. My interest is beginning to wane.
Yeah.
I just feel with some communication, I've been more willing to wait. I've already started searching for the Moto X Play and the style and thinking about jumping on the pre-order because their pre-order queue, I pre-order it now and you actually get it on the day of release.
The issue OnePlus has always had is the invite system, and they've got a history of not keeping it interesting in appropriate ways, and now it just seems they're not keeping it interesting.
Yeah, there must be nearly 3 million people in that queue now.
Yeah.
With no update to where you are in the queue. For example, I can get the Moto X to play, I think, in 3 weeks.
Yeah.
If I got an email tomorrow that said, you're 4 weeks away from getting an invite, I'd wait the 4 weeks. But because I've got no update, I'm going to perhaps go with the one that I know I can pick up and buy. But, to make it even more complicated, Nextbit announces their phone and apparently releases it September the 1st. And then there's the new Nexus.
Yeah.
And the new Nexus is perhaps, that is going to be absolute stock Android because it's made by Google. Well, not technically made by Google.
Yeah.
They get. Who's making it now? Is it
I
LG
think
making it
it's,
for them?
I think it's HTC.
Really, do you think? I don't know. Don't know if it can be HTC.
No.
I bet it's LG or someone else.
If it's LG, I'd buy it. If it was HTC, I wouldn't.
Really?
Yeah.
So you don't think HTC have got better build quality than LG?
I just never liked any of the HTC phones that I've seen. They've never felt right in my hand. I've not used one for an elongated period of times, but I've just not been that big a fan of their stuff.
I'd probably take HTC engineering over LG's.
Fair enough.
Definitely. I'd use aluminium for starters.
Well, I had the LG G3, and that was a really, really nice phone.
Yeah, wasn't the G2 pretty much the Nexus?
Yeah, basically.
Yeah, because the Nexus 5 was a great phone.
Yeah.
Which apparently the new Nexus is going to be a reimagination
of the Nexus 5.
Of the Nexus 5, because the Nexus 6 was just ludicrously big.
They shouldn't have tried to maintain the numbering scheme with the size of the screen, really, should they?
Yeah, we'd have got carried away by the Nexus 11. And,
yeah.
We had Nexus 5, 6, 7 and 9. We're only missing Nexus 8.
Yeah. You can't, and an 8 is a tablet, really, isn't it?
Yeah, well, the 7 and the 9 were tablets.
Yeah.
They need to improve the communication.
Definitely.
Just anything, just to know you're progressing in the queue or...
Yeah, and the competitions don't seem to be particularly prevalent either. I follow them on Twitter, and today was the first time I've ever seen any, hey, do this and you could win an invite. And again, it's that vaguity. It's you could win an invite, so you could win the opportunity to buy a phone.
But you've only got 24 hours
in which to buy it once
God,
you
we
get
seem
invite.
so positive about the OnePlus 2.
I still want it.
I still want it. I just want an update to when I can purchase the phone.
Yeah.
I think my fear is going to be because I want an Android and I'm going to be picking up the iPhone 6S in a few weeks.
Yeah.
I don't think I'm going to wait for it.
No.
I'm going to end up with the style or the play.
Yeah.
And it's a real shame. But talking about the new iPhone, we all know there's going to be a new iPhone announcement on September the 9th.
Yeah.
And other announcements, well, there's definitely going to be a new Apple TV. Absolutely 100% new Apple TV with an SDK.
It's been a long time coming.
I've wanted an SDK on Apple TV now since the original Apple. Can you remember the original Apple TV? It came with a hard drive, like a 40 gig hard drive in that thing. It was a beast. And I actually sold it for far more than I bought it for. Because I can remember I sold my Apple TV 1, I think, for 2.5 times the price of an Apple TV 2.
Wow.
Yeah. It's because you could install another OS on it.
Ah, of course, yeah.
So they could install another OS. People were using it as an XBMC sort of system. So yeah, the Apple TV Yeah, so I've been waiting since then for the SDK. But games are going to be a massive focus now.
Yeah.
And that opens up a real interesting area in terms of it's going to be something above mobile gaming, but perhaps fill the space between mobile and console gaming.
Yeah.
So what are those games going to look like?
Well, I think it's going to be... I think the good match would be a lot of the indie games that are coming out, because there's such a massive market now for lower graphic intensity but more story-based game, narrative, and things like that. So there's a ton of games there at the moment that just sound so interesting and don't cost a lot of money. You're looking at like between £5 and £15 on Steam.
Yeah, definitely $5 to $15 the right price point for the Apple TV.
Yeah.
And what's really interesting, it's going to run iOS 9.
Yeah.
And the features that have been put into iOS 9 are some of the features you get on the Xbox One and the PlayStation.
Right.
In terms of press a button, it records the game and uploads it.
Oh, wow.
So we can already do game streaming from the device.
Yeah.
It's going to have some very impressive features.
Cool.
The thing they're going to really need to figure out is a control system.
Yeah.
Or we're going to use the remote control, which is rumoured to have a touch-based system, or is there going to be a gamepad?
Ooh, gamepad could be sticky.
Yeah. Apple have definitely got the clout to put a lot of money into the R&D of the gamepad. Biggest problem is it can't exist. There'd have been a leak.
Yeah, there would.
There's no way they could produce a gamepad and there not be a leak. So that means no gamepad. So we're going to have a strange touch. Although, do you know what? I've just said that and I'm realising now, where's the leak for the new remote control with the touchpad?
Mm-hmm. Do you think they're going to rely on you using your phone or iPad as a controller?
Yeah. Definitely you can use the iPad as a controller, I'd have thought. But even then, you're still not... You want a D-pad, you want an analog stick.
Yeah.
You know, the gameplay, I don't want to say it's going to be limited, but it's going to be different to console gaming if you don't have that pad. I think there's going to have to be a pad at some point.
I don't think they will. And if you look at your current iOS games, you can get some that have got control support, because there are controls that you can buy out there, but the vast majority of them don't. And they can fill the store up really quickly with existing games that don't have controller support.
Perhaps there's going to be a pad on September the 9th.
Yeah.
That doesn't mean there isn't going to be a pad
next
year.
Yeah,
I don't think there's going to be a pad now.
Yeah.
I do think it could be future-proof for Apple.
Yeah.
Absolutely. iPad Pro, that's not going to be the event. It's really not. Well, no, they don't release 3 products in one event.
No, true.
It's not Apple enough.
We have a formula.
Yeah, they do have a formula. You know, thinking back to WDC, I suppose there were 3 things, but it wasn't exactly new things. It was just an update to this, an update to that. Hey, Apple Music. Yeah, we all knew those things were coming out. It's not like, hey, one more thing. So yeah, iPad Pro, I think that's going to be the second week of October. Going to be an event for that. We'll have the stylus. We'll have Force Touch. Probably will be 13-inch or 12.9 inches.
That's pretty close together for Apple events, though, isn't it? It's only like...
No, they've done that for the past 2 years.
Have they?
Yeah, September iPhone.
It's passed me by.
I think the reason they do it is just to get enough iPhone sales in that quarter to get amazing sales figures. And then they do the event in October for the iPad for the ideal Christmas present.
Yeah, true.
If you release it too early, you're not going to get that holiday period. Release it just in time and everyone goes, oh, what do I need for Christmas? Oh, I'll get an iPad. And yeah, that's why they do it.
Yeah.
Just to push holiday sales. Because they could have had that thing out ages ago. But really interesting thing in terms of mobile phones, Apple this year, especially with America, the lack of 2-year contracts now.
Yeah, that's going to be a big deal for a very expensive phone.
They used to splash up $199 for that phone.
Yeah.
AT&T do still do a 2-year contract, but they're the only provider to do a 2-year contract. I don't know if they'll just avoid that slide.
Maybe.
Just not even mention price. Apple do usually like to drop how much an item's going to cost
Yeah.
into the presentation. But I think this time it's going to be such a shock for people to hear this is how much the phone costs.
It's a hard sell.
It really is. I've been buying off contract now since the 3GS, but I know that's not the norm.
No, I when I had an iPhone, there was no way I could afford to do that. Not every year, not every 2 years.
I think it's because once you've bought into the ecosystem, if you're willing to sell it every year, it ends up being reasonably the same as having a contract.
Yeah.
There's not much in it.
Hmm.
Maybe 80 quid or something, it's not a massive amount, and every year I was getting the new phone. I still continue to get the new, I'm getting the 6S.
Yeah.
When it's announced.
It's only just occurred to me as you were saying it then how close 6S sounds to success.
Maybe that's just how I pronounce things.
Maybe. But yeah, there were, I don't know, because there's always that little bump for the 6S in there. It's like, they'll bump the internals and there might be a new feature.
It's the TikTok. It's
yeah.
TikTok. It's usually camera and CPU.
Yeah.
They're usually the two bumps.
What about feature?
Our feature's going to be Force Touch.
Right.
Yeah, that's going to be the feature.
I don't really understand what Force Touch brings to the table.
Reduces the amount. There's a real big thing in design at the minute, especially in UI, and I've been talking about this for a while now. Reducing the number of gestures needed to complete a task.
Right.
For a visually impaired user like me, it makes a massive difference.
Yeah, totally.
Going from 10 gestures to 2 gestures is massive.
Yeah.
That's a massive reduction for me. So I believe the idea with Force Touch is it's going to be used to reduce gesture usage. So you can just hold down and then it just jumps the process, knowing that if you're pressing, this is the action you want to do.
Yeah.
So we'll get rid of those 3 intervening steps and give you your option straight away.
Yeah.
So I think it's just a new way to interact with UI.
It's on a phone because it's almost like a new language for the user. And I know people who got the has it got a different name? The Big Six. What was it called?
You mind about that? 6 Plus.
The iPhone 6 Plus. Yeah, that's it. I'm thinking 6XL.
You're thinking Big Hero 6 or whatever.
Yeah. The Big Six, I like that. That's better.
Yeah, just call it that. You should work in their marketing department.
Yeah, definitely. But I was showing, I know people that I work with that got it, and I was showing them the way that that you can make the screen go down.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I'd said to them, it's a double tap, but they'd be doing a double press, and I'd go, no, it's a double tap, and they're like, what? And then I'd show them, they'd be like, because it's a physical button.
Yeah.
It doesn't occur to them that the double tap would actually do anything.
I found that really interesting because why didn't they open that up to do more things?
Yeah.
Why didn't a single tap do something? Why didn't a triple tap do something? For example, for me to access the accessibility, you have to triple click.
Yeah, and triple click's quite difficult.
It's not that it's difficult, you get used to it, but it destroys the home button.
True.
Because I'm hitting that home button hundreds and hundreds of times a day. If you'd made it triple tap, there wouldn't have been the button wear. So Apple have been a bit strange with this. Their gesture usage could be far better.
Yeah.
Android's gesture usage is amazing.
Yeah. Interestingly, the OnePlus 2, it looks like it has a physical home button now because that's where the fingerprint scanner is, but it's not a button. It doesn't depress.
Incidentally, did you hear the sort of user reports of the fingerprint scanner?
I saw a review of it saying that it was slow.
Yeah, after the massive market.
After the massive,
it's faster.
Touch ID. Yeah.
Oh no, apparently. If it worked, it's faster.
Yeah. So that was a bizarre one. But yeah, I found it interesting that it wasn't a physical button, but it appears to be a physical button. But it still works in the way that it has any Android home button does.
That reminds me of the Xbox Elite control thing you're talking about, the magnets.
Oh, yeah.
Where it's a psychological trick.
Yeah.
They make it look like a button, so you treat it like a button. It doesn't actually have to depress.
No.
But you treat it like a button.
Yeah. Interesting.
I think you can do a lot with Force Touch. it'd be interesting to see what they do. From an accessibility standpoint, there is so much you could do with it.
Yeah.
But I think it would require such drastic change in the gesture system. I don't think they'll do it. So it'd be interesting to see over the next few years whether the way we use gestures on the iPhone does slowly begin to change.
Yeah.
And I think maybe Force Touch could be the first step towards that. Because we have got into this thing where on your phone, it could be 15 presses to get to a menu.
Yeah.
You're like, as you know, apps become more and more complicated. We do need a way to reduce those gestures. We're using our phones for tweeting, Facebook, Instagramming.
Yep.
Why can't we have a long press that just Force Touch and boom, that's Instagram?
It would make sense.
I don't think Apple would ever do that.
No.
That's something that Google would do.
Yeah.
Yeah. And maybe we should start doing that. We should have simple gestures that we can map to the functions we most use. Because I don't use Instagram, but I know a lot of people do. I personally prefer that long press to perhaps be Newsify or my favourite app, whatever my favourite app would be.
And without going back to OnePlus too many times, the capacitive buttons at the bottom of the screen can be mapped.
You can map into any app.
Yeah, I think so. They can definitely be mapped, but
imagine,
if
I could access that app from anywhere on the screen within another app, because then I wouldn't have to physically move down.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
You could even make it. Let's say I'm looking at an image on a web page.
Yeah.
I single tap it, then Force Touch tap it, and then boom, that puts it into a specific app that I wanted.
Yeah.
That they're the sort of things you could do.
Yeah.
I don't think they would do that, but if we begin to look at the touch and the tap, there's a third level or a fourth level or a fifth level. It opens up a lot of possibilities.
Almost feels like an if this then that recipe.
It does feel like an if this, although I've just got into if this then that.
Oh, right.
I used it when it first came out, and I never found a particularly good use for it.
That's because you've got an Apple phone.
No, because there's other things you can do. Because the actual if this then that I'm doing at the minute is a web service based one.
Right.
It's
okay.
not a phone based one. And yet I found something. I had a real problem with long chain emails and attachments. It's so hard with the screen reader.
Yeah.
And there was an if this then that which pulls out all attachments and puts them in your Dropbox in a
pretty
folder
cool.
from the sender.
Yeah.
So now I just go, oh, okay, boom, it's there.
That's
It's
nice.
so much easier for me. So yeah, I'm really getting into it now. And you're right. There's some great Android if this then that.
Yeah.
And again, another one of the reasons I want an Android. 1+2, get your act together. And I won't be forced to go and buy a Moto X or be drawn into the new Nexus.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. When does the new Nexus come out? Because I'm at Google. I'm at Google just after the new Nexus comes out. Hey guys!
I don't actually know. I think is it being confirmed? I think it's kind of rumoured.
It's rumored. It's coming out.
It'll be coming out.
It's coming out. And I think I'm there back in September.
Yeah.
Yoink!
You would have thought it would be around September, October time, wouldn't you? Just
Do you know what?
Christmas
I feel
market.
real shameful that I don't really know Google's release schedules.
Mm.
I know for I/O and
Yeah.
OSs, but I don't know their hardware schedule. Because why don't? I don't know.
Yeah.
I should know it. That's quite bad.
I don't, but I think it's because hardware partners, isn't it?
Well, they bought their own hardware company, and then got rid of it.
Yeah.
Motorola has thrived since it's left Google.
It's crazy, isn't it?
And
they're making really good phones.
I think now, if they bought them now with the new Alphabet sort of different structure, and it ran as an arm under Google, they'd probably be far more successful. And again, that's probably why they've decided to do this Alphabet thing. Because maybe now they could have a hardware partner that, is an acquisition, operates within. Come on, HTC need a bit of help right now. That could be a perfect buy.
Yeah.
Although, God, can you imagine if they bought HTC after selling Motorola? Oh my God. The amount of stick Wall Street would give them would it'd be shocking.
Talking of Google hardware, OnHub.
Yeah. Oh, do you know what? I currently use an Airport Express.
Yeah.
The reason I use an Airport Express rather than an Extreme, actually, is the Express you can plug speakers in and use it as an AirPlay stereo. You can't on a high-end version.
Which, yeah.
I actually rang Apple support because I was using the website. I thought, it's got to be an error. And I rang them up and I was talking to the agent about it. I went, oh no, the Extreme does support it. I went, are you sure? Because your website says it doesn't. She went, I'll just check. So she went away, she come back, it doesn't. She said, the low-end model does. I know, yeah. I don't get it.
We've removed a feature.
For the high-end model.
Does seem a bit bizarre.
But I never thought I'd leave that router.
Yeah.
But after reading the on-hub, I was like, oh, that sounds fantastic.
Yeah. It's scary how much it looks like the Amazon
Echo.
Yeah, Echo. Yeah,
I haven't actually seen the on-hub. Is that what it looks like?
Call it Alexa. Yeah, it's like a cylinder.
Really?
Yeah.
Do you know what? I actually read something now because I couldn't see the picture, could I? But they were saying they designed it with the hope that people will put it on their sideboards.
Yeah.
To give a better signal.
It's
maybe we should describe what the on-hub does. That would probably be a good selling tip. Do you want to describe it or should I?
Well, it's a router.
Yeah. But what makes it so good? What makes it so good is it can change the frequencies to give you the best signal for your house. So you'll always get the best possible Wi-Fi signal. You can also prioritise a device in your house that will always get the bandwidth.
Yeah.
So, for example, if you've got 4 or 5 people in your house, you can say that your phone is the priority device. So when bandwidth becomes constrained, it doesn't become constrained for your device.
Yeah.
So very good idea if you've got kids, you all having Netflix or Xbox One and YouTube, whatever. So yeah, that's great.
And the fact that it all controls from an app.
Well, the app, this is the bit that made me want it.
Yeah.
There's a little dashboard which tells you your current bandwidth usage and individual user breakdown.
Yeah.
And I'm just geeky enough to want that. You know, like, I've got 4 streams of Netflix, how much bandwidth am I using? I want to know that information. There's no need to know it, but I want to know it.
Yeah, and it's cool because it brings all that kind of a lot of people don't know that you can access the router settings in a web browser. Yeah,
it'll probably make it more secure.
Yeah,
because that's what you can do. You can send passwords to people via Wi-Fi.
Oh wow,
from the app.
That's cool.
Yeah, that is cool. Because again, the reason I like the Airport Express is because I have a guest network.
Yeah,
so people can just jump on my guest network.
Yeah. But it's got a speaker on it as well, which again makes it sound a bit like the Amazon Echo.
Before you know it, it's going to be, okay, Google.
Well, there's no mic.
That's what they tell you, Neil. That's what they tell you.
But maybe they're relying on using
Hub 2.
Google Now.
On Hub 2.
Yeah.
It'll have a mic.
It seems like a weird omission.
It does seem a weird omission. Why would he not put a mic on it?
Yeah.
A mic must cost what? 2p?
Yeah, exactly.
1 cent. You know, I can remember having this really annoyed thing because when the Kindle came out, the first Kindle, it had accessibility, so you could it could read the book to you. When the new Kindle came out back then, I can't remember what it was called. Was it the Kindle DX? It's a long time ago now. They got rid of accessibility, and they said it was because of the weight of the speaker. I was like, hang on a minute. He didn't have a 2,000 watt subwoofer in it. And then they went, oh no, it's the cost. Guys, these excuses are terrible. It must have weighed 4 grams and cost a penny. You just took it out. So yeah. Why would you? That does, I mentioned on this podcast how much I wanted the Echo.
Yeah.
And then you couldn't get it in the UK. You can't even get the on-hub in the UK either.
No.
On-hub's US, but I imagine that's because of Wi-Fi frequencies. They're different in the US to the UK in terms of, what spectrums have been set aside.
Yeah.
Although, sneaky tip, if you live in England and there's a lot of interference on your network, just go into your room and say you live in America. And it changes the frequencies.
Nice.
That's a handy tip, like if you're living in the dorms and there's like 50 people with Wi-Fi, you're living in a block of flats. Yeah, just change in the American terms.
Cool.
It's not like, I don't think they're going to come around and tell you off for that. I don't think they even know. No, the other cool Google thing, Is it called
Google Sunroof.
Sunroof.
Yeah, this just seems like a crazy, awesome thing to do with the data they got from Google Maps. Yeah, they got all this data, didn't know how to use it, and then all of a sudden some boffin's gone, I've got it. Let's figure out whether it's worth somebody's time and money to get solar panels on the roof. So it's using the data to calculate how many solar panels would actually fit on your roof.
Now, I find that's the real impressive bit for me.
Yeah,
they can figure out how many can fit on your roof. That must have been quite a substantial mathematical problem.
Yeah,
because there's a lot of edge detection going on there.
Yeah, definitely.
So the program needs to understand the edges of the roof compared to the surroundings. That could not have been easy.
No, and in addition to that, it's only available in certain cities at the moment, and they're all USCs. But basically, it can tell. It uses a year's worth of data basically to track how much sun hits your roof, and it takes into account cloud cover over the year. It takes into account shade caused by surrounding objects. It just, from a math point of view, where am I from? From a mathematical point of view, it just seems like an unbelievable task.
So have they partnered with Solar City or something?
I'm not sure, actually. I think they did have a partnership, and you'd think it'd be Solar City, wouldn't you?
Yeah, I'd imagine it to be Solar City.
Yeah. I could fact check that. But yeah, just an unbelievable resource for anybody who's thinking of
the reason I'm just wondering
panels.
if they partner with the Solar City is for the batteries as well.
Right, yeah.
You know, so you can have God, what did they call their battery? I can't even remember. It's terrible. It's only the other month as well until they announced it.
Yeah. I don't remember.
They must, yeah. It's going to be Elon Musk, isn't it? So surely. This is making great podcasting.
It is,
as Neil checks it on his.
I'm trying to fact check, and it's not going well. Yeah, doesn't say.
Doesn't say.
But yeah, it's only available in Boston, San Francisco, and Fresno.
Yeah, Solar City then, isn't it?
Yeah, you'd think so. But yeah, it just seems like such an interesting use of that data that previously they got no idea what to do with.
Yeah. Yeah, they continue to come up with interesting uses of that data. Just as time goes on, I'm sure they'll even do even greater things that we can't even imagine. Like, I couldn't have imagined 2 years ago that they'd be using the data to figure out whether solar panels are economically viable for your house. I just seems crazy.
Yeah.
Although I would love a house that was efficient enough to run off solar panels. I think in England we're probably a few years away from that.
I saw an article the other day about an airport that was completely run on
solar. I saw that. Yeah,
unbelievable.
Although I do wonder how much power does an airport need? High usage, do you think? I suppose they've got a lot of corridors to light.
Yeah, a lot of lighting. Lighting's the main thing, really, isn't it? Tannoy's not going to take a lot.
Well, they're going to have the computer systems and air control, but traffic air control now is a centralised system.
Yeah.
So it's rarely... there must be some presence in the airport, but a lot of it's going to be off-site.
Yeah. I think they deal with a very small area around the airport, and then it gets passed on to a more centralised system.
Well, did you hear that went down in America the other day?
No.
Yeah, they upgraded the system earlier this year, and it keeps going down, and it went down again the other day, so I'm not looking forward to flying at the weekend.
Yeah, that's bad news.
Hopefully it's working fine. But now they've got to keep my Coca-Cola cold in the airport as well, so there's a lot of fridges.
Yeah, but a lot of restaurants and eateries and places like that.
AC is the biggest use of power.
AC would be
I suppose it depends where the airport is.
If it's getting a lot of solar,
it's going to be somewhere hot.
It's going to be somewhere warm, isn't it?
I realised that as I said it.
It's not going to be
Manchester.
Again,
the Arctic gets a lot.
True.
Solar.
True, yeah. But it's not going to be Manchester.
No, God, Manchester Airport. Have you flown international from Manchester Airport?
No.
I thought, where did we fly? Oh, no, we went Heathrow.
We did, yeah.
God, it's not nice to fly from Manchester International.
No?
No, I can't describe to you how small the terminal is.
Really?
There's a WH Smith, one restaurant, and a duty free.
Oh, wait. Is that where...
It's where you flew to. Yeah, that's the international terminal.
No way.
Yeah,
so if you're going to America, you're flying from the same... That's ridiculous.
I flew to... Oh, where did I fly? Could have been Boston or New York.
Yeah.
From that terminal. It is...
It's
pokey. There isn't even any seating, is there?
No, it's like there's a bar and then there's kind of a restaurant thing with a circular seating thing in the middle.
They do great pizza in that restaurant.
Oh, do they?
Yeah, honestly, really, really good pizza.
Yeah, it was basically like the entire thing was the seating area for the restaurant, and then a couple of corners that you could hide in if you weren't sat eating in the restaurant, and nothing else.
Yeah, it's one of the smallest international terminals I've been in. It is tiny, isn't it?
I think Doncaster's bigger than that.
I think it is.
That's ridiculous.
I flew from there to go to, like you did, to Dublin.
Yeah.
Because I flew, I think, Dublin like a couple months before I did America.
Yeah.
And I was booking the flights, and I was flying with Scott. And he wanted to fly from Manchester. I was like, no, let's go to like Terminal 3 or Terminal 5 in London.
Yeah. He's
like, no, we don't fly from Manchester. I went, no, please don't, Scott. The terminal's terrible. I went, it can't be that bad. We got there. And he went, this is it. So I did tell you, and the flight had been delayed 4 hours. I was like, oh, no.
I can't believe pokey little Doncaster Airport's got a bigger... That's unbelievable.
Yeah. It's not a good airport to fly from. It's great for Dublin.
Yeah.
Because you're in the airport for like an hour and a half.
Yeah.
But when you're in the airport, especially if you've got big delays, it's no fun. Mm-hmm. So yeah, there we go. We've trashed Manchester.
Yeah, Manchester, take that.
Although I'm flying from Heathrow on Saturday, and I arrive in King's Cross at 5.
Yeah.
And then it's wheels up at 8 o'clock, and it's an hour to get from King's Cross to Heathrow, assuming I catch every train perfect.
Right.
So
you have fun with that.
Yeah. Obviously the plane's going to taxi at like what, 7:25.
Yeah.
So yeah, I have got next to no time. I don't know why I thought I could make it, but I went, yeah, I give it a punt. Yeah, it's not going to be a fun time.
It's going to be fine. It's going to be completely stress free.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Well, I've got a flapjack to eat as I sprint through the airport.
I've just got visions of you running along with a cloud of oats flying out behind you.
Well, that's what I prioritise. I was like, what do I need to make this trip easier? Flapjack.
That's it.
Yeah.
As long as I've got flapjack,
as long as I've got.
Okay.
I give it a lot of thought. I went to the shop today, and there was a white chocolate flapjack or a cherry and coke, and I was like, I love white chocolate. I'm going to get white chocolate flapjack. I was like, hang on a minute, it's going to melt.
Yeah.
That is not going to be good when I'm sprinting through the airport, covered in melted chocolate. Cherry and coconut is airport flapjack.
Definitely.
So we digressed a bit from technology there.
A little bit.
Just
to stick on flapjack for a second longer.
Yeah.
I do hate it when there's a topping on the flapjack and you know that it's not going to be that nice because it's not a yoghurt topping. It's a yoghurt flavoured topping.
Oh. Do you know what? I got a Bakewell flapjack the other week.
I'll
say the other week, it's a bit longer about. That is so sickly. Because imagine a Bakewell with a flapjack for a base. It's just, honestly.
That sounds like too much.
It is.
Although at the same time, I want one.
Yeah, it's honestly just sugar on sugar on sugar.
Yeah.
It's very tough to get I got through it.
Yeah.
You know, grin and bear it. But yeah, it's very sweet.
Right. So, probably back to tech.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah. Tile?
Yeah, we love to trash Kickstarter, but there are always some great successes, and Tile was one of them. I think it struggled with the Kickstarter because it ended up being a bit thicker than anticipated. There was a few battery-related issues. This is all from memory, don't quote me on any of this. But they managed to shift 2 million of them.
That's a lot.
2 million. It's now going to be available in stores. New version now. And what's really interesting is the way it works now. It's a small tile, probably just a little bit bigger than a Scrabble tile, a bit thicker. And if you lose your keys or whatever you've attached the tile to, you press a button on your phone, it's Bluetooth, and 100 feet range, and it beeps. You can go and find your phone. I actually thought about getting a few and putting them on like the zip of Grayson and Franklin's hoodies.
Right.
So if I lose the kit, can hear the beep. Can hear the beep. They're here somewhere. But the other great thing is, if you've got the tile and you've lost your phone, if you double tap the tile, it rings your phone.
That's pretty cool.
So it's a really great little device. It's $25. They reckon the battery lasts for a year, but it's sealed.
Right.
So then it's bye-bye.
Disposable.
Tile. Yeah, it's a very disposable item. But arguably at $25 for a year, it would be nice if that battery was replaceable.
Yeah.
Because having to throw away tech just because the battery no longer works.
It does seem a bit.
And although we could argue that now that's what happens on our mobile phones, because a lot of it's sealed battery.
Yeah, I'm guessing it's for durability though, isn't it?
It is for durability, yeah. Have you seen Apple now will swap the battery out?
Yeah, I did see that.
Yeah, so that's cool. I think it's if it drops below 80% efficiency, they'll swap the battery, which is quite good.
Yeah.
They must have some kind of battery recycling process rather than as dumping these phones because the battery is shot. And then the other thing again, it's little Bluetooth style devices. Although I don't think it uses Bluetooth, it uses Wi-Fi. The Amazon Dash.
Oh yeah, the I need more toilet roll button.
I need more washing detergent button. I need more nappies button.
Yeah.
So basically, it's a button that you press that's attached to a product on Amazon.
Yeah.
So if you press that button, it orders it, sends it to your house.
It's only for certain products at the moment.
It is for certain products, but can you honestly imagine any product you use enough that you need that?
No.
I really can't.
No, I can't.
But the interesting hacks are starting to come out, and this guy's come up with a really ingenious hack. Because what you do when you first get this Dash device, it sends to you, and in the setup procedure, you have to attach it to a particular product you want it to order. Now, if you skip that process, it's never attached to a product to purchase.
Yeah.
But it does have a unique ID. So what you do is you run this little network sniffing app is developed on your network, you run it on whatever device you want to run it on. You press the button, it figures out, notes the unique identifier, and you can then reprogram the button to do anything you want.
Yeah.
So the guy who did the hack, he had a button that he pressed every time he changed his baby's diaper.
Right.
And it added an entry into a spreadsheet with time stamped.
That's useful.
And then I think he did it for feeding his baby. I know it's just one of those interesting little hacks, but you can obviously make that button do anything now.
Yeah.
I think that's the power.
What would you use it for?
Playing some music, maybe.
That's pretty cool.
Sending. I know because you couldn't send beats one because it's Apple. Maybe playing Radio 1 on Bluetooth speaker.
Yeah.
And then the radio starts. That'd be pretty cool.
By the side of the bed, so when I wake up, hammer the button, and the coffee pot starts up.
If I was imagining something I actually had and I could do at home, if you got a coffee pot that does that right now.
No, but you could easily buy like a plug. Or
you could do it with the iCettle or anything like that. Couldn't you? Yeah, could lay it off. Yeah, because if you had the drip feed coffee pot turned on, but off at the plug.
Yeah, exactly.
Use like the Belkin.
No, see, poo-pooing my idea.
I did.
It's very feasible. Very
feasible. It was feasible. You're right. No, that would be kind of cool. Actually, so I was wondering, have your hot drink ready?
Yeah.
Maybe I should change to that. Hang on a minute. We'll add more than one button. So,
True, yeah.
I'd lose the button.
Well,
that'd be the problem, wouldn't it?
Whenever I've seen pictures of them, they're always like stuck to washing machines.
Yeah,
and
I
fridges.
think they've got like some kind of adhesive.
Yeah.
No, yeah. I suppose it comes back to this thing where we were talking earlier on. We've now got a button that reduces the amount of steps to achieve a task.
Yes.
So we're reducing that user experience down to one interaction to achieve something that historically took 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 steps. For me to put on Radio 1, let's see, opening my phone, 1 gesture. Radio 1, 3 gestures. Then the station, 3 gestures. Play, 3 gestures. Was that? That was about 15 gestures, I think, one time.
Yeah.
Down to 1.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it's basically the logical kind of next step from Amazon's one-click buy.
One-click press.
Yeah.
But again, there's not enough products. I really liked. Did you see the wand that Amazon did?
I don't think I did. No.
It was a wand. You scanned the barcodes of the food you wanted to throw them away in the trash.
Yeah, I did see that. Yeah.
And then you could also it had a mic in it, and you could just say a product, and it created a shopping list on the computer.
Because that was just given out to certain people, wasn't it? It wasn't ever on sale or anything like that.
I really liked that device. I thought I couldn't understand why. Oh, then again, it's because Amazon made it, I suppose. Why aren't Asda and Tesco and Morrison's doing that?
Yeah.
That would make their online shopping experience fantastic.
Yeah, it really would. And I mean, staying on Amazon stuff, the Echo now ties into a lot of apps and things, and you can literally write a shopping list, have it synced to Evernote, and then it's on your phone. Yeah. So you're in the shop, you've got the shopping list.
Yeah.
It just, stuff like that just seems to
work
so
the
well.
one step further into it, because then you scan it in your house and it just appears at your door.
Yeah, which is crazy.
Yeah, we never actually leave the house now.
I try that most weekends, but it doesn't always work.
Yeah, I suppose just Amazon should have probably opened up that technology, but there's nothing in it for them because they want to do food delivery.
Yeah.
So why give it to the competition?
Yeah, good point.
Or why haven't Tesco or someone created something similar?
I don't know, because I guess a lot of their business, especially with, even with online shopping, relies on you kind of going, oh yeah, don't buy the same things all the time, and when I buy this, you're suggesting other products to me, like visually or...
Yeah, but they could do that. They still could do that. It would be harder. But, yeah. I don't... Do you know what? Is this built into the Tesco shopping app on the phone and we just don't know?
I don't know. Well, yeah, I don't do online shopping, so maybe it is, maybe it isn't.
It could be in the app. Hang on a
minute. Bear with me for 1 second.
Yeah, but the wand, again, reducing steps, you see.
Yeah.
Because then I don't need to open my phone, take a picture, I just go ding, 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 ding.
Yeah.
And it's done. And it's there. If you put it near your bin or, attached to your fridge.
Yeah.
Just scan it.
Yeah, I mean, well, I know that the Asda app has got a barcode scanner for groceries, so that can be literally if you're throwing something away.
Yeah, you could do it then. But then you still got to unlock your phone and do it, don't you?
Oh, God, life's so hard.
No, I'm trying to get it all down to one step, Neil. One click, one press, one interaction.
Back in my day, you had to get out a chisel and a piece of slate and start chiselling away your shopping list on the piece of slate, and then drag that with you to the butcher's. Then you'd have to go to the greengrocers separately.
I could have a massive conversation about the supermarket thing, but I think it's too much of a detraction in terms of what food was available in the supermarket when we were kids and when our parents were children.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Far less processed food.
Well, not just that, just world food.
Oh, yeah.
My parents can apparently remember pizza being introduced at the supermarket.
Wow.
And it was just, there's pizza
what
in
is
the
this
supermarket.
Magical thing? Yeah.
Yeah, whereas now we imagine a whole range of world foods to be at our fingertips when we go to the supermarket.
I remember a couple of years about being in a supermarket and just thinking, really? A rice and pasta still classed as world foods? Do these
staples?
Do these not belong in a different aisle by now? It just seems bizarre that such absolute staples in everybody's diet.
It's hard enough to find things in the supermarkets. It is. I think if you start moving things like that, people would not find it.
They'd figure it out soon enough.
Well, no. Yeah, the supermarkets are actually surprisingly, certain Tesco especially, are really at the forefront of technology usage. Morrison's not so much.
No.
They're trying to rapid catch up now.
Hey, they've got that cool thing that puts water vapour on the vegetables.
They accept Apple Pay as well. But then so does Lidl.
Yeah.
I was in Asda buying something. A lot of supermarket stores now. And I said, do you take Apple Pay? And he went, what do you think this is, Avid? I went, well, Lidl's got it.
In your face.
Yeah. Take that. The bargain basement supermarket supports it. Why don't you?
Yeah.
But no, what's frustrating apparently is Sean says that they've got the contactless logo on there.
All right.
Yeah. Can't think of the word.
Bleepity bloop machine.
Yeah, that thing. But they don't. It's not turned on. So they've got the technology in the Asda.
They sent us these newfangled things.
Yeah.
Don't know they work though.
Yeah, they bought the credit card thing to actually do contactless, but they don't use it. Or if I actually went into Starbucks the other day,
right,
to use Apple Pay on my watch. I went, can I pay with Apple Pay? She went, oh yeah, you can, yes. We got it out. Got my watch and she went, where's the barcode? I went, what? No, it's Apple Pay, it's contactless. She went, oh, all right. Hang on a minute, then I've got to press a button. So she pressed the button. And then it just would not work. And after about 15 seconds, I got bored and she went, oh, there's my credit card. Yeah, you've just totally ruined my Apple Pay experience there.
Surely, like 5 minutes training for the staff is all it needs. Just so they know what on earth's going on.
You know, you're going to a bigger Starbucks in a bigger city, and yeah. Because I think I used it when I was down in London, and yeah, they were just, oh yeah, here we go, and spun it around and it's kind of done. But I think it's just because I was in a smaller town and perhaps not many people going with an Apple Watch to pay for the coffee.
I remember years ago I used to work for an insurance company, speaking to customers over the phone. But we would be the people that they would call, despite the fact that it shouldn't be us they called. If people had gone to get an insurance quote online and they were having problems with the website, they would call us. So our job then changed to be tech support for the website. And we got taken off the phones, which was a big deal. Oh, are we off the phones? For a small amount of training. And it was baffling because it was basically they'd introduced capture on the website.
Okay.
And the team leader had no idea. He'd got a sheet in front of him that explained exactly what it was and why it was doing it. And he didn't understand it. And none of the team understood it. So I had to explain to people exactly what it was. I'm like, it's just to prove that you're not a computer program trying to run on this. It's to prove you're a real person. And they're like, oh, why? And
did any of these people own a computer?
I honestly don't know, but yeah, it was bizarre. Nobody seemed to have a clue.
I was trying to do something the other day. It was on, I think it was Microsoft. It was Microsoft because I was trying to get a OneDrive account. And the capture for the audio capture would not work.
All right.
So I tried it for ages and I went, oh, do you know what? I'm just going to get out my phone. Got out my phone. There was no capture. It took me about 10 seconds to sign up. I thought, oh, God. It's so much easier on the phone. That's because they assume there's no robots using phone. Bad assumption, because I'm sure there's a lot of people with very simplistic robots.
When Siri takes over the world.
No, I can guarantee there is somewhere in a room right now hundreds of Android or iPhones.
Oh, I bet.
In some kind of rig going, press. Yeah. Earning them a lot of money. Because, there's factories, aren't there, in China where they employ people to do that.
Yeah.
It's got hundreds of iPhones in the room going...
Is that why they're not mining for WoW gold?
I think this is the new WoW gold because it's like they're selling YouTube views, aren't they, and all those sort of things. Yeah. So it's a app downloads as well, to get you up higher in the ranks. Higher in the ranks, what do you mean?
That stuff's gross.
Yeah, so they've got like 1,000 phones with lots of different accounts, and they just flick through the accounts and get you what looks like 10 or 15,000 legitimate downloads.
Yeah,
big business.
Yeah,
I bet that service probably costs 150 grand for that. But in terms of marketing campaigns, oh God, I was reading something the other day. User acquisition, I think for this app, was something like $2.50. That's how much it was costing per user.
What?
Yeah, on acquisition because the ads to drive. So then the app obviously has to make then more than $2.50 per user.
Yeah.
Google actually have an algorithm internally when if you talk to the marketing department, and they'll tell you how much the user acquisition is for your app.
Oh wow!
So you can figure it out. So yeah, that's quite a commonplace thing. User acquisition cost.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's surprisingly expensive, and that's why a lot of these apps really do have this big female by the god of upsell you, because their user acquisition costs are just obscene.
Yeah.
And that's when apps, let's say things like Crossy Roads or Flappy Birds, where they've made huge amounts of money.
Yeah.
Because there was no user acquisition cost. It would just word of mouth, really worked, boom. That's how you made the fortune, because you didn't have to pay for user. But we even talked about much tech in this podcast.
There's been a few dead ends we've gone down that weren't tech related.
Yeah, I think we're probably best off wrapping it over there before we end up talking about food. Oh, we're gonna do quite a unique podcast next week, aren't we? Because I'm away.
Yeah.
I'm not going to be reading any tech news.
Oh.
So Neil's going to call me and give me the tech news, and I'll react to the tech news.
Should be interesting.
It should be interesting. We'll try and match the time zones. So that's...
Yeah.
Because, it'll be 3 in the afternoon, won't it? Yeah, that should be 3 in the afternoon, hopefully.
Yeah.
3 or 4 in the afternoon. So that's next week's show, and hopefully... There's going to be very little talk about tech and probably more about what food I'm eating.
So where have you been and what have you eaten?
Well, I started with Grace Papaya. Then I went for cookies. Then I went for a Chihuahua dog. Then I went for a Black Label burger. So yeah, I'm sure there'll be a lot to talk about what I've been eating.
Cool. Okay. Well, if you want to listen to the podcast, you can always go to the website, techenthusiast.com. You can now go and listen to us on YouTube. So just search for Tech Enthusiast on YouTube. And we've got the Twitter account as well, Enthusicast Tech on Twitter. And if you've got any suggestions or any feedback or anything like that, we appreciate any communications with you guys. So that'll wrap us up for this week. I'm Neil.
I'm Simon.
Thanks for listening to Tech Enthusiast.